Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie, przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami, a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy. I musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom, to jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces. Witamy wszystkich na kolejnych warsztatach poszukiwaczy wiedzy. Są to 332 warsztaty. Dzisiaj mamy czwartek, 30 stycznia 2020 roku, a tematem jest kolejny wykład doktora Keshe. Jest to 312 warsztat poszukiwaczy wiedzy i tłumaczenie z języka angielskiego na język polski. A czas tłumaczenia to jest od 6 minut do 51 minut. Następnie mamy następny fragment, to jest od 2 godzin 3 minut do 2 godzin 50 minut. I jeżeli będziecie chcieli jeszcze, to mamy 20 minut tego warsztatu, bo niedawno został przetłumaczony jeszcze ten fragment przez Przemka. Tak więc napiszcie na czacie, jak tak, to skończymy dzisiaj ten wykład do końca. Tak więc bez zbędnej zwłoki zapraszam do czytania, wysłuchania i potem, jeżeli ktoś będzie chciał, to podzielenia się wiedzą. Tak więc zapraszam.
Hello, Mr. Keshe. Are you ready to begin today? Yes, good morning to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers program. And today, as usual, as it's our 312 program, we will share knowledge in the way that all of us can benefit by it. And somewhere down the line, sometimes someone will benefit by it according to their needs. Today's program is very special. We have announced in China, across the Chinese, or what we call Keshe Foundation, and the Keshe supporters and the universities and the government, that this teaching today, in around about an hour and a half into the program, will become what we call Chinese influenza blueprint, which means we teach the Chinese people, the Chinese authorities, how fast they can reverse this, what we call mayhem has been created in China. As you know, we have handled the African swan fever, which is a double strand, but this one is a single strand. It's much easier to handle. Effects are immediate, and in so many ways, I know many Chinese Keshe Foundations are listening in the background. As has been tradition, Keshe Foundation will open always access to the Chinese nation, which means all the productions and all the facilities of Keshe Foundation and knowledge seekers will become assets of the Chinese nation. We'll go into this in more detail, and as we said, we have reserves. We can support 1 million sick people in China. And by the end of next week, after the holidays, we can increase our support to 10 million Chinese, those who are affected and those who might be affected. This is a single strand virus, and control of it is much, much easier than the African pig. And we have seen some results in the past 24 hours, 48 hours. We will make sure that what we call the knowledge and the facilities of Keshe Foundation in China opens up to the public. Chinese universities, Chinese authorities all have been informed, and many people will be online. We'll start around about an hour, and we go through this process. It's good for the rest of the Keshe Foundation supporters around the world. We heard that the flu has appeared in Brazil, as they are reporting. We know Chinese is a season of traveling, it's their holidays. So they'll be carrying this virus right across this planet. Every one of us is vulnerable, especially if you fly through airports. And we cannot ban the Chinese not to travel, but we welcome them, but we have to be prepared to support the nation in time of need. This is the responsibility of Keshe Foundation supporters worldwide. You have access to all the gases. This is a serious matter. Estimated 10 to 20 million people can be affected already. It has 12 days incubation time, and you can see how bad the situation can get. It's become extremely serious in China. It's become a worrying condition for the Chinese authorities, and we are responding to the need of the nation in respect to the Keshe Foundation as one nation, one planet, one race. On the other hand, as usual, we go further into the teaching till we get to that point when we receive a message from our people in China that everything is set up and is ready to go. In that process, we will instruct and we will inform the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers in how to handle, how to apply, and how to, what we call, prevent, or if you are affected, to be looked after properly, that you can overcome the virus. On the other hand, as we are going ahead with the teaching of usual pattern we work, the Keshe Foundation, as you know, will become instrumental in many ways in different applications and implications around the world. For this reason, we asked a lot of knowledge seekers to be prepared for the next step development. And as we said, in February, we'll release the CO2 capture systems as a commercial unit, and then as an agricultural unit, and then as a water purification and what we call for animal care. This unit will be displayed hopefully before end of February, and it'll go on sale within the next 2 to 3 weeks, immediately a week after Chinese New Year comes to an end. There is a part of the teaching which we convey the message in the Iranian channel teachings, which I think should be shared worldwide. It opens up a new dimension or brings out the totality of the knowledge in what we have shared before. And in so many ways, we share this knowledge because it is important to be understood. Following the situation with Iran in Iraq, a new structure and understanding is needed by the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers to understand how the totality of the knowledge has to be understood and be shared. In the teaching, in the Iranian teaching, I try to go into more depth with this, and in so many ways, it's important for all of us to understand this now that we have come to this conjuncture, where we start understanding the totality of the knowledge. In the past years, we have taught about the gas reactors, which was developed in Iran and further developed in Europe. Then we introduced you to the gas technology. And then we came across the other states of the plasma in production of the materials and how things are created. In the knowledge and the science of the transformation, we have covered 3 levels. One level into our understanding is what we call gravity and the magnetic field. There is another one, what we call inertia, plus gravity, plus magnetic field. And then we have what is what we call inertia. This is part of the teaching which has to be clarified, especially now that we're going into the space level, understanding of the space technology in a very simple way. What does inertia alone mean? Inertia flight system is very simple. What does this mean? It means we use the matter states, equipment, or materials to achieve what we call levitation. It is not possible, extremely difficult, to be able to fly across through space to another destination by inertia. It is possible. Some races have tested it, but it is extremely eating food by turning your hand around your head, as we call it. What does this mean? Flying by inertia is when we use matter states, dynamic systems, or understanding of it to create flights. We've seen this one with the American military test in 1975, where they managed to create a series of dynamic rotating magnets at the highest speed, and in conjunction and position of different magnets, they managed to create a flight in respect to solid state position of other magnets, all rotating opposite to each other. We achieved levitation. There is a limitation in height, but the energy put in to achieve is beyond the energy and what it can be done outside. So we have seen this done by other groups being achieved to even live to a few meters, and then coming back to position they cannot literally travel very high. This is what we call the dynamic motors. In a way, it's dynamic, and the system can fly parallel to Earth, more or less, within the space gap. What does this mean? It means we cannot go high. We cannot travel between what we call planetary system. But we can work within the structure of understanding the totality of our work in the way that we can extend the work and the knowledge to the level that it can allow us to do simple things, simple flight system, simple understanding of the whole process. But then this creates a condition for us that we have the limitation of the planet Earth. We have the limitation of what we call restriction to move. Creating interaction with this level can lead or maybe allow us to go maybe a little bit in a combination of inertia and what we call magnetic gravitational field forces. So inertia, magnetic gravitational field forces are matter state conditions. On the other hand, we need to be able to understand furthermore. This is for objects, for moving cars. This is for understanding the totality of the system that allows us to be able to operate within cities. Cars maybe, as we've seen in so many ways, with electronic connections and electrical powers to be able to run trains. The next step, which is what we call gravitational magnetic field system with inertia, is what we know as ganses. What this means? It means we use a combination of the gravity and inertia and magnetic field in understanding of the interaction of the two parts together to give us what we see as a GANS. We have a system which has gravity and magnetic field as a condition of a plasma, but in conjunction with inertia manifests itself as GANS. That's why for the first time you can see energy packages, but they have no what we call dimension, and in so many ways they are very much connected to life. Inertia, gravitational magnetic field is what we call human body. In interaction of the energy with inertia, not becoming into the matter state gives an intermediary state, what we know as GANS. Energy packs in condition of what we call interaction of the fields of the plasma with the inertia or matter state of the planet. In this process, a new understanding, a totally comprehension of the science is needed by the world of science to be able to share the totality of the knowledge between inertia and what we call small gravitational magnetic field elements of the plasma of the matter that it manifests itself in the GANS state. These we have shown we can create and use their fields in the dynamic cores, where what we call, we create fields for body enhancement, we create fields for agriculture, be water the plants with the energy transfer in the matter state inertia. We use it for all sorts of applications, which we have seen for past years. Then we have systems which are entirely and totally are what we call gravitational magnetic civil system. These are the flight system. These are what we saw with the Iranian flight system. Creation of vast areas to cover, vast dimensions, and creation of a single cell collective matter state movement. A planet is this. It creates gravity and magnetic field, and in that process of dynamic condition, it creates and holds on and creates a field of protection for itself. Planetary system is one of them. So if we understood the three different positions of the creation and interaction of the fields in matter state, and plasma state, and the plasma state itself, man has entered a new dimension in the world of science and understanding of totality. Americans and some scientists in 1970s and 60s managed to get there. You, as knowledge seekers, in the past 5 years, have managed to get to here. The Iranian space program and the Keshe Foundation space program has laid the claim onto this spot. But in that process, if you understand the totality, you can amalgamate and create a condition that all three can exist within each other, very much as we see on this planet. The human race, the animals, the plants exist as an inertial gravitational magnetic field of the plasma, as one unit, as combination, or when the fields are singularity, we see it as the stone, iron, and copper, and the rest, or when we see the dimension of the interaction of dynamic system, a planetary system, the flight system, you call it UFOs, you call it the spaceships, you call it Earth, Moon, is the same. The comprehension of this is needed in the next phase as we enter the March meeting in Iran in respect to the space technology. So when we travel the depth of the space, when we travel across this universe, now we have to understand the totality of this knowledge, which is which, and where we need what, and how we extend this knowledge to this ultimate goal of life in depth of the space, in the security of the gravitational magnetic fields, both gravity and shielding, and at the same time to be able to create materials that once we need, if the dimension of inertia and gravitational magnetic field created. I go to planet Zeus, but I would like to have what we call the chair on planet Earth because I've been there, I had the experience of it, but on planet Zeus, I'm 4 meters to 10 meters tall, but on Earth I'm this, so on planet Zeus I have to make myself a giant chair that I can sit. I don't need to sit on the ground. So we carry the knowledge. We see how conditions are, which depends what we need to produce. I get to moon, I know I can create water, but I need the matter of inertia in a loose field of the gravity, but the strength of the magnetical to be liquid. And then we understand the knowledge of the man has to enter a total and full understanding of the knowledge of the universe. Would humanity, would mankind enter a totality of understanding of everything, or would we, in the process of understanding, create a new dimension for us to be able to share knowledge in the depth of universe? What we have seen in the past 2 weeks, many people have asked me one question. Can you explain what happened on the ground in Iraq in respect to the Iranian forces and American forces, and what led the Americans general to stand in front of the what we call group of journalists, literally observing their physical shaking in their skin, and we listen to the lie of a president in not telling his nation the total truth. What happened in Iraq? What happened with the forces, American forces and Iranian forces, that has led us to peace? Obsoleting the old, bringing a new dimension, but in understanding the totality of the field forces of the universe, in understanding the implication and application of the totality of the knowledge. Let me explain to you in a simple way what happened in Iraq last week, 2 weeks ago. This is for Iranian government officials to take further. This is the American base. Let's bring it in the middle. This is the American base with the what we call European partners. We saw this work with drone. We saw this work used by the Russians on American ship. What the Iranian did, very simple. Placed a system which created a dome, which isolated any communication in and out. As they created a barrier, then in so many ways, the American army was at the mercy of another force. The American forces, drones, satellites, air force, ground force cannot penetrate, could not even see or communicate with the base to know what is the fate of the people in this position. In so many ways, if you understand, this is the base, and in so many ways, this is the dome, and in so many ways, how do you want us to do? For 10 minutes, the barrier was kept, and everything possible was rained upon that no man will fight again. We explained the same situation with a drone, if you remember, some years ago. We explained the same thing, what happened with a ship in what we call European waters. So what Iran did is literally paralyze the communication, the defense technology of one of the most advanced nations in the world. My objective to it, which I objected strongly, was not to do what they did in destroying the base, but in so many ways, the Iranian but maybe that was the message that no one is immune. What we see in the international arena is very simple. Many military contracts are on the table, questionable to be signed. If the American forces could not protect their own, what technology are they selling us to protect ourselves? Has Iran brought a new dimension into defense technology and peace technology? as I said to the Iranian teaching, which was directly broadcast to Tehran, is a very simple position. We have no choice but to enter peace. Let me explain the next step of what we see and what I advise the Iranian leaders to follow and to be brought to the United Nations table very rapidly. As sanctions has been on Iran for a long time for supplying arms or whatever to what they claim to be different sectors in Syria or wherever. Now that we have this new technology, Iran has to become the enforcer of peace, that no nation can ship any arms across the planet. Technology is within the reach of Iran, is developed by the Iranian scientists, and now needs to be applied and complemented by what we call the March Conference. What does this mean? How come Iran was under pressure that if they ship fuel or guns or tanks or food to Syria, it was a criminal offense. From now on, no nation can carry any ships or planes or material from any border which can endanger life or create war. As we say in English, what is good for geese is good for the gander. What is good for a female duck is good for a male duck. So what we see is a total ban and enforced by the Iranian new technology of movement of arms by any nations, be it the United States, be it Russia, be it Iran, be it China. This has changed the position of the force. This has changed a new dilemma for the American administration. If you remember when we entered the peace talks, when we got the Iranian negotiations 5+1 to the conclusion the last weeks, I made a speech to the Senate that I want to know which member of Senate will object to creation of 5 to 15 million jobs by signing of the peace treaty and contract with Iran, which then went through the Senate. Now, the reality dooms home that as the American government military apparatus cannot export, cannot sell, as the Iranians cannot, as the Russians and the Chinese, any more tools are poured across the borders, what happens to billions of millions of dollars income from the military and the jobs in the United States? This forces a new position for the American government. We will see, as I said last week, rapid unemployment in all states, especially the state of California. This brings us to one point. We bring condition of peace across all the nations through the development of technology, deployment of the Keshe Foundation plasma technology on a GM condition, and then we have to use the condition of inertia and gravitational magnetic field as plasma field forces to be able to create food and in so many way energy for the number of the Americans which go unemployed and have no food to do, no money to feed their family and their nation. This is not a dream, this is a reality which will hit the European nations and the American nation in a very rapid way. An achievement is reached, an agreement is reached between all the nations how to divert these talents in these companies which they're making tool of arms and they're not and cannot ship into a new application of what we call new technologies. My suggestion is very easy. Keshe Foundation has put position for a massive, what we call structure in the state of Arizona. And we invite the American advanced technologies to join us with the Iranian scientists at this site to develop new technologies that secures national food security for America, as doesn't matter what amount of food you have, you cannot go any further with all these mass murders, killings, and in so many ways, in the past trend, I've been told I have to change my microphone. Just 1 second. Let's see if it can get you much easier. In this process, is this better for you? Can you hear me clearer?
Yes.
Very much so.
Yes, very much so. Okay. In this process, what we advise to the American government is very simple. Speak to the Iranian government, speak to the Keshe Foundation US, and start organizing for the mass unemployment which will hit your nation. It's very simple. I was talking to a couple of military leaders in the past week, and they said, Mr. Keshe, there is a big problem. We have no more defense. If Iran militarizes this and applies it to all the neighboring nations, we have nothing to defend. There is no option is left but to enter peace talks with our neighbors, that we do not spend the money we don't have to spend. This the situation of 2 weeks ago and the implication of its technology literally has brought a new dimension into the world peace and the conditions which we have created, and we are there responsible to respond to. My advice to the American administration, His Excellency President Trump, is one thing. We invite you to Tehran for March meeting, and in that conference it's better for you to come with the end of sanctions on your nation to come, not on the rest of the world. Sanctions on selling arms, sanctions on creating wars, and peace treaty that allows all the nations to enjoy the new technology. We do not expect much, but we know we can deliver much. In so many ways, American administration has one choice: enter world peace or shake like a leaf, as we saw with the generals in front of the world media. This doesn't come out of the arrogance. This comes out of so many ways delivery of the technology we set out to Iran some 12 years ago. My message to the White House is very simple. No one surrenders, but we surrender to peace. No one becomes the winner except peace for humanity. And as a leading Iranian nuclear physicist, and in so many ways, tool for peace, we open our operation in Arizona, as we did, we're expanding further in allowing a direct joint collaboration between the Iranian scientists and Americans and the rest of the world, that we set out a new way, a new law, a new peace condition. I request from the Iranian governments and officials in Tehran, extend this knowledge to the beyond borders of Iran, that no nation can sell tools of war to kill no child and no fathers. The point of changing has come, and has come through the technology and science, and not to the arrogance of guns. As I said, we increase the pressure on all nations to head for peace. And in the coming weeks, we will release systems for mass production of many, many tools. Creation of blood, extraction of the CO2, creation of new systems, household level, to feed nations and peoples without relying on grain and food. These will head us to one direction. We preparing mankind for the depth of the space. The classroom has started. And in so many ways, as we see, KF SSI has entered its research groups. I've seen some 21 groups have been set up in research. Joining these groups to develop new technologies that in the coming weeks and months becomes benefit to human race, and in so many ways teaches us more to do. On the other hand, the question for all of us is very simple. What do we do with the knowledge we gained? And what do we expect from our leaders to lead us to? I have one message for the world leaders. The warmongering is over. Invest in the new technology for space development, feeding your nations, and the Keshe Foundation releases so much technologies that in so many ways, feeding your nationals becomes a pleasure to be part of. As I said, we have shown the gravitational magnetic field system, which belongs and is developed now by the Iranian nation, by the Iranian scientists, was developed in Tehran in 2008. And in so many ways, we brought the knowledge of the inertia of gravitational magnetic field internationally to all of you as GATS. So we need to put these together. And on the other hand, as we already know the knowledge of the matter state, mankind is ready to be taken into the space with the security of understanding the total structure of the what we call universal order. If you would like to understand it in a different way, this is the principle, this is the transition, and this is the matter state. We know this by the books and by the articles which has been released. In so many ways, do we need to create more tools to become faster to reach the depth of the space? That depends on the diagnosis of what we call our religious leaders, our political leaders, and primarily by our soul. In the coming weeks, as we release the new systems, as we expand in the knowledge, then we will see the totality. And then we'll see the next step in the creation of the knowledge and technology, which will allow our nations and our governments to take the new step. We said, as one of our friends said in one of the teachings, show me. The time of show me is over. You show us how you can help us to go further. It's not for us to show you how we go, we advance, for you to take the pleasure. In the coming weeks,
Pana miarka wyrzuciło małe problemy techniczne. Zaraz zobaczymy, czy Jarek odzyska internet.
Przepraszam, miałem problem z połączeniem.
To the Iranians for years. We brought the knowledge of the gods to knowledge seekers for years, and mankind himself on his own understood the inertia. The new system, which will be developed and released by the Iranian conference, it will be very clear, will be a unit which will be like the universe, will have gravity, will allow to create life, and at the same time, if the life depends on the matter state, will be so. It is a radical change, and as I said, world leaders have two choices: to lead us to peace, or will lead them to no office, which means the world leaders have to, as new Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers, so many ways, few years ago, with an attack that we gave the knowledge to the governments and not to you. Now we gave the knowledge to you and not to the governments because they didn't listen. Now you and the governments will bring a new life, what we call the new spaceship program, in a very simple way. In a coming system, in the enhancement unit, we will mix the gravitational magnetic field system. We mix inertia and gravitational magnetic field system. And we'll bring in the matter state inertia. Collective of what you need to live in a space. And this knowledge of the gravitational magnetic field system, we will demonstrate a new flight system, which will be in what we call developed within the enhancement system. The technology has been developed and in due course will be shown. We hope to be able to demonstrate this in Tehran conference. As I said, knowledge is free, but has to be free in the hand of the man of peace. And in that process, Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers have reached that state that we can enforce peace through knowledge. And in so many ways, we have to understand that the new structure, the new world structure has to be based on understanding of the totality of the work of the universe and not just man's decision to do what he likes when he likes. And in that process, we will bring in new orders, a new condition. We're waiting for our Chinese team to be ready in Beijing, and then we translate and we convert into the what we call the flu system in China. We're waiting, the Chinese teams are on the background waiting to start this process. The European American team of the Keshe Foundation have put the introduction to this virus ready to start once our team are ready to go, and we'll go further with it.
Mr. Keshe, I see that Ruthie is here. If you wanted to...
Yes, I see her in the background. She's just arrived in Beijing. Can you open it? Ruthie, can you hear us? Bang me?
Yes, Mr. Keshe,
Yes.
I'm here.
Can you start translation for the Chinese community?
I'm already translation for about like 10 minutes or 20 minutes.
Okay, we switch at this point to what we call the blueprint for influenza to the Chinese nation, and we will understand furthermore in what process we can go ahead. Rick, would you like to enlighten us with the work which is done by Ella Head of Keshe Foundation in the background, that we understand this virus, we understand what the Chinese community and all of us now, the Chinese traveling across this planet, has brought us as a gift. But in a way, this is very much like what we saw in situation with Iran. It is a gift which unites us, even though it looks so bad. We would like to start the virus blueprint day. This is what is the headache and the problem in China for the Chinese government and Chinese nation. They are spreading and spraying all the cities affected with all sorts of chemicals to prevent it, to control it. And the knowledge seekers of the Keshe Foundation in China, it's your responsibility with the knowledge you carry to be able to bring all the materials you have freely at no charge and no cost to your nation. Any of the Keshe Foundation supporters who tries to make benefit at this point for selling the products or the process which is introduced, you have to deal with your soul. Doesn't matter how you produce, what you produce, what we call the production of the materials of the Keshe Foundation and our process in the factory is a disposal of the Chinese nation. What this means, as much as the Keshe Foundation team can produce will be given freely to the Chinese nation for them to protect themselves. At the moment, yesterday, 17 people have died in China, and many more are affected and infected. This is the Chinese New Year, and this is a gift from Keshe Foundation to the Chinese nation through its knowledge seekers. We understand what we call the disease. Then we understand how we handled a much stronger disease in pigs, and we understand how simple eradication of this virus will be. As I said, everything comes together in so many ways. Iranian Peacetime Conference, understanding of totality of working of all the Keshe Foundation together, and in so many ways, breaking all the taboos about the knowledge and understanding of the totality of the knowledge to help humanity, as the viruses are the only things that will destroy man in space. And this is a very good exercise. This is an amazing good exercise for all of us to understand and to bring a position of what we call peace for ourselves. This is a test run for humanity before we go to space. This is a real test run. We are hit in space with massive viruses. How are we going to handle it? This is it. Now it's hit the nation of China. How are we going to be? It will hit one of our spaceships. How are we going to protect ourselves that all of us in the space are protected? We are in a spaceship in depth of the space and we get hit by a virus, energy attached to the, what we call amino acid. We are on a spaceship called Earth and we got attacked by it. We saw this virus in different form a few years ago, killed many, brought mayhem to the Chinese nation. And now there is a lot of rumors in China, which has some support. This virus was deliberately introduced to create mayhem by the Chinese New Year to create political instability. Does not matter. Keshe Foundation is there. We teach the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers to be able to support the Chinese community, your families and yourself. The process is very simple. We do not claim a medical application. We claim environmental cleanup. That in the process of cleaning the environment, the totality of the process becomes inevitable for all of us to use. Rick, would you like to start?
Yes. Could we also get the other microphone put back, because the sound quality is not very good on this one. The other one.
Pardon?
The other one. Could we have the other microphone set up?
You like to read it?
Status. Would you like me to read that, Mr. Keshe?
No, it's okay. We can see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a conclusion of the whole thing is about. There. Have we finished?
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. If we read from the top to the bottom, the most important part of this report comes in the last two paragraphs. If you go to the page above, we see the reports that explains South China seafood city and officials or scientists talking about when the animals are in distress and not in what we call psychologically, in a way, happy condition. We've seen this with the viruses, and man does itself the same thing when you transfer what we call psychosomatic diseases. So we need to understand, in fact, the totality of the disease, and then it gives us and teaches us a lot of things very simply in the last two paragraphs and the rest of what we read about. But to be able to handle viruses, we need, in a way, make a conclusion, a summation of the totality. And what does this mean? Is that in the current form, the current condition, and how we getting this repetitive cancer, what I call, like they attack us and they kill viruses, is very simple. I'm going to share screen whiteboard. In a scientific way, when we look at the solar system, when we have a sun, and when we have planetary system, in a world of science, of understanding the fields, these fields connect to each other in so many ways. But they connect through the magic strength to each other. Does not matter in which way it could be. So what it tells us very clearly, very, very clearly, these are energy packs which created by emotion. These are energy packs which comes from the emotion of animals or humans. And interestingly enough, we transfer it through our lung system, through our breathing, which is the emotional part of the body of the man. We don't see these viruses to attach or attack muscle tissues or whatever else. In so many ways, in the present system, it's very easy to understand how these viruses can be handled. And in a very simple way, we can deplete them from it. As they say, this virus takes hold and moves in within the structure of a cell, which sits on an amino acid, delivering energies which is not needed, and energies which needs to be consumed till the point of a specific condition. And this is very in line with why some people catch the virus and some people don't. Which means those who catch the virus, they all have to have a specific strength, common denominator, energy level. We can come in touch with if our amino acid in our nose or in our lungs is not of the strength matching of the virus, we don't catch it. Which means goes back to what we said, the specific strength matching locks into amino acid, and this creates this condition, and many people have that strength. And when the strength of the emotion of the animal matches the strength of the emotion of the man, the virus transmits. This is a vital important position for man which travels into space. In so many ways, in the space we become homesick. We'll get viruses attached to our emotion of missing home. People get all sorts of these kind of energy packs into our structure. And in a space condition, we need to understand more. This is where a lot of researchers in the future will come in this level of understanding. But how can we help, and how can we understand to help? In so many ways, if you have a lung which is infected by this material, by this energy, it has to go through the nasal passage or through breathing of the mouth. So these are air amino acid connected diseases, or what we call energy packs. The most fundamental point for people in China is what they are trying to do is to cover their faces with what we see, and it's become very common, these face masks. At the same time, we see with fever or we see with sneezing and with the pneumonia. The proper source or proper way to, in a way, transfer the energy of the virus out of it is in a way to introduce another plasma to it against the state, because it's an energy pack. You remember the glass of water with the orange and the banana? In a way, when we created and put material around the cup, we managed to transfer the energy of the orange or a banana to the cup. We created a condition of energy field that it could be transferred. Many of you, when you made these cups, you said it doesn't taste, I don't feel anything, because there's one vital element, was that the glass or the cup you used was too clean. There were no amino acid to create the condition of the transfer. So what we learn from this, one of the most fundamental points for the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers who go out to eliminate this, is existence, presence of amino acid GANs that you use. You create a condition that the amino acid or the field which is connected to the virus finds a passage or transfer. You'll find very rapidly the virus will deplete itself from its energy in the cell. Fever, pneumonia, lung infection will change condition in the body of the man. So one of the fundamental things you have is the use of the amino acids on your GAN systems, that you can create that link. The other point is that as this is emotional, has given us a very clear direction. It's connected to the amino acid of zinc. As it connects itself to the muscle, or what we call environment of the muscle tissue of the lung, and can access in nozzle, is the presence and application of copper. You got to remember that the energy of the virus is more. So the total effect of your against your amino acid has to be weaker than the virus, that it can deplete its energy into it, that in a way part of the energy of the virus still in the cell, part of the energy of the virus in the amino acid, but none has the strength to carry on. And we see a rapid reduction in temperature, in fever, and cleaning of the lungs. The way we suggest to our Chinese colleagues is very simple. You use these masks to breathe, make a mixture of amino acid of the zinc plus CO. And frequently spray the mask. Either way, as you breathe, it clears the lung, and at the same time depletes if there is any born virus link connection to your amino acid. In a way, you put a barrier between the one who carries it and your body, if it's not immune to it or has the same strength, by putting the masks you absorb either way. You deplete it. Very simple, very effective, and in so many ways, in some cases, you can use the gas water of the CO with Zn as to reduce. As is emotional, you can simply wet your hair or your hand with it, that it depletes the emotional strength from it. In a way, goes back to the ethos of the work of the foundation, as this is from the emotion of the animal, is psychosomatic and appears itself in the lung of the man or that. So you need to create a condition that by, in a way, wetting your head with the gas of Zn and CO, you can use a small amount of CO2 for neural connection, and you will find a rapid depletion. You can even use to spray the house. You can spray your hand and make this as water available right across the city. It should not take long to, in a way, bring the energy of it under control, and gradually, as the cell multiplication in the gases which you create will reduce the totality, you will find the virus will be more or less eradicated. This is how, in the space technology of the future, we will do this. But you got to understand, this is a man dimension application as of today. In a space, we don't have waters. So new technologies has been developed that will come into operation in the next few months, where we create a condition that, as we saw yesterday, Chinese are putting vehicles in the street and spraying all sorts of chemicals, trying to protect. What the Chinese officials have to do and understand, if you can create a condition of the amino acid in your mixture plus some gases, you will see effective reduction. Next day or two is the Chinese New Year, even the Chinese New Year. And Chinese Keshe Foundations, you can give this as a gift to your nation. Produce as much as you can and freely in containers give to people to spray their masks, to wash their mouth. And even those who are contaminated, just you can do it. We have a very good news for you. Keshe Foundation has within its arsenal and with its documentation to confirm that these materials are non-poisonous and safe. This is when we produce it in the Keshe Foundation. We are in position of non-toxicity of this material and other conditions done within past few days in China. This is the place, the factory, the productions we have. We have paid a lot of money for it to confirm it. And so we can say from what we have as non-toxic material, these materials, those which we have tested, show non-poisonous, which can be used. And at the same time, we have certification for production of the gas material for this purpose, which will endeavor after Chinese New Year to spread across China in mass production waters, which can give you the support of this material to support the Chinese nation. This is a gift from Keshe Foundation to the government of China, We have already informed the authorities we have the process. Keshe Foundation Chinese production systems need to collaborate and to make these available freely across China. Our production and our team are ready to deliver. There's a restriction of liquid within this city which is damaged or is under what we call curfew of transportation. We have people within the city who have some materials. It's your responsibility to share and deliver to the citizens. We will face these kind of viruses created by ourselves for our emotional compensation in the depth of the universe. And we will attract these kind of energies from the emotion of those we capture. Be it animals, be it other structures in the life of the universe. As I said, the last two paragraphs of the report is conclusion of the reality of what man has done to other animals, that in return they pass their emotion back to us. But the emotion is so high that we cannot handle. Now you can imagine what we've done to these creatures of God. We've seen this in Africa with the fish, and I'm not surprised that they say it's in a fishing ground or in a fishing city by the sea, and they think it's come through the fish market. This could be quite correct. Depends what the fishermen have done to their fish in the what we call development. What have been done to this fish that his emotion has translated itself to a virus to man? Does not necessarily mean it comes from the birds or animals. The same with the Middle Eastern. What man has done to the camel, that he has transferred his emotion for man to feel his pain. This is what we have to educate ourselves, not to see how we come, see how we have caused it, what has been behind it, us as humans. In a way, we are harvesting the fruit of our own conduct. In so many ways, maybe it'll be the fish which has brought it to us. Maybe it's a combination of different animals in captivity and in so horrendous conditions that this virus is a collective energy of 2 or 3 animals together. What we've done wrong to them, that it has come to us. With this technology, we have to be open, very open-minded, and understand the totality, and not to be captivated by simplicity just to justify our own suffering. We have caused it. We are paying for it. Now, blame it. The Americans have brought it. The dog has done it. Comes from the whatever excrement of the animal is airborne, is the emotion based. In so many ways, the solution, in so many ways, the solution is so simple. But would it teach us something new? Or every now and then we jump from one virus to another because we harmed others, that due to the restriction we receive it back. Their emotions connected to the amino acid of their lives, so they connected to us. And if one day the scientific world does not look at just who has it, but look at the common denominator of the emotion of who got it, who's been infected, I'm sure you will find 99% of all the ones who are infected or catch the disease have more or less the same emotional disease strength as the animal. We saw in one part of this report, it says, the two children got it from their father. Is the emotion spread the same? They suffered the same as the father, or in the hand of the father that they got it? This is what's in overall responsibility of governments, to make sure animal care becomes pleasure, comfort for the animal, that in turn they don't become a menace to man through the emotion of their, what we call the animal. In the depth of the space, we'll come across these energy packs which affect only certain races because their condition of emotion fits to the energy level. Condition of the soul not being happy with the presence of its existence will bring these to it. The purpose of these teachings is to enlighten the man what the harms is done to himself and to those who live within and around. And in so many ways, we see these kind of viruses continuously out of East Asia, where animal husbandry is very low, where due to the large population, everything is crammed and no one is happy with it to be. When we see these viruses, usually we see them in winter time, when the pressure and emotion bears the condition of what we call cold. And they are usually single-stranded, which is mean connected to the emotion. That is why the Keshe Foundation, what we call GANS technology, interacts rapidly. When you have a double strength, which means the totality of both the physicality and the emotion, very much what we see with the pigs. And those usually, because of their strength, come through higher temperature, warmer places. Mutation at the higher level of strength, and when you bring them to the cold environment, they become deadly, as what we have seen with the African flu in Northern Europe and now in China. We understand the totality of the interaction of the fields, This is one of the reasons no antibiotic works, because what we call virus is connected to the emotion, and the medical and the world of pharmaceutical has no material, no medicine for emotion, energy of the emotion. And this is why energy of the emotion is a dynamic field, and the GANS technology is the only answer, and the only answer to viruses. Now we understand. We have broken to the verge of the science of the universe, and now we understand how we can understand and apply technologies, simple technologies, that in reality we do not need to go into the physical dimension. We need to solve the problem in the emotional dimension. Mankind is very lucky that it has not, and this strand of viruses are single strand directly to the emotion. If we make it double strand in the background of the single strand, we'll have the plague we saw in Europe called the Black Plague. Because he had the double strand in the background of the single, and it's so deadly. Maybe this is a warning to our farmers, to our governments, to start thinking about the care of the animals in a human way, that they are happy in their existence, that we will not see any more viruses. Any virus, SARS, whatever name you put on it, through the Keshe Foundation GANS technology is resolvable. Irrespective of its strength. We had antibiotics for everything else. Now we have GANS technology for viruses. And this is why, as I said, our doctors and pharmaceuticals always fail to overcome viruses, because they never understood viruses are energy packs which attach themselves to the amino acid and create such a mayhem. Now that we understand, it is the simplicity of the technology, the simplicity of understanding of the technology to create conditions for this transfer. If you can, and in so many ways, use different gases to just deplete part of the energy of the virus from the body of the man or the animal, you'll find out, as it's half-linked, it will not have the effect. We will see the reduction in temperature, we will see reduction in fever, we see rapid reduction within literally minutes. We're not talking about hours and days. These energy transfers is from one bucket to another. It's immediate. Very simple. You need connection of the amino acid. You need the connection of emotion, and you need the connection to the body of the man, and in so many ways, a little bit of physical connection through CO2 will do wonders. But make sure the percentage are low, that you don't use too much, that the energy transfer comes to it. If you get your balance wrong, you might even give some energy to amino acid that in return will bring it back, and it takes a slightly longer to overcome the infection or transfer of the motion. As I said, it's a responsibility of the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers very rapidly to spread this across China. You might have some success with the amino acid and the copper, because in that process, you might have transferred some energies across. Because in your amino acid, when you're producing CEO, you might have some Zn, and in the process, you created some CO2. But to be safe, the recipe is this. We know Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers in China hold tons of this material amongst them. Go and just wet the masks, or take the water and let the people breathe, wash, or wet their mask with it, and you will see them they recover. Go to the hospital where the infected are and just let doctors to use. We provide the certificate of non-poisonous on the back of the Keshe Foundation, Austria. We have the certification that the material is non-poisonous, and this gives us the security to do. Wan Lin, would you like to explain the non-poison certification, please, that you have received?
Yes, we had done the MSDS report, and they had done the CO2 test of the content test to show what is inside, and some test for feeding the animals, or the skin allergy test is still ongoing. So, and also we already have the water produced by Chinese pharmaceutical and food factory. That is our water all qualified to fit in all the regulation of the energy drinks.
So in so many ways, we can distribute these waters or on the back of what we have to support the Chinese Keshe Foundation, to support your nation. We hear the reports from Brazil. I've noticed in the international Keshe family saying that the virus has arrived in Brazil. There is no difference. You have competent team in Brazil who make these things, and they can support you this way. You can take a drop, you don't need huge amount of it. You can take a few drops a day on your tongue to keep yourself immune. You can wear the mask with it to keep yourself immune. You can drink some of the water, which is produced by Keshe Foundation, to do the same. It's just transfer of the energy. Go back to the teaching, understand the teaching. When you have infection of the lungs, the structure of the body of the man is a pipe goes down near enough where your stomach is. And in the process where the infection, or what we call the virus, is in the lungs, and you drink the water, which is set for it, you transfer energy across to it. And as this disease connected to the brain of the man, psychosomatic, you do the same when you wet your hair, you breathe, and you drink. You deplete as many cells as possible. That allows you to recuperate very fast. No one should die in China of this disease, of this virus, if the Chinese Keshe Foundation supporters be able to spread this material across China as fast as possible. You all make answers. Those of you who know the technology never did, for sake of your nation, do. Set up boxes and spread it across, give freely. It's you who has to save your nation. We're there to guide. It's a gift we give you as knowledge. We open the factory production of Keshe Foundation Chinese nation, as we did in Italy during the earthquake, and is the responsibility of you as knowledge seekers to take out to the streets, take it out to the hospitals, let the doctors test it, show them it's just water, and let them do, and see how they recover. We can bring this under control before Chinese New Year. It depends on you. We know there is a Keshe Foundation team in affected area. They already tested the water yesterday. We have tried to, they received some materials for another purpose a few days ago. They can use that directly to the hospitals. And we provide you the certification for the waters to keep you safe within the structure of the legal frame of the nation. We have informed the university in China, who is collaborating with us, and they are trying to find the channels through the government. The problem with the Chinese structure is maze of bureaucracy set within the structure of the Chinese government. And this has to be sorted within the structure of the President Xi's governing body. There is, living in China for long enough, we see huge problem in China, and as the nation will come to these things, we'll suffer more. I compare the structure to governing of the China very much with the class system of India. There is no difference. Work exactly the same, given different names. One cannot go to the other unless you have hidden yourself not to be in the other. In India, you see those who have no class have no place. This is one of the problems we have in India for the conference. People without a class who are knowledge seekers of the Keshe Foundation would not be allowed in the hotel. What a ridiculous thing for the soul of man. Who made this class, except those who abuse the man. And we see the same thing in the structure of the governing of China. If you are not connected to one group, one class, you cannot go up, and everything dies at your level. One uses imaginary, and one uses the fact to block. This is a problem for President Xi to sort out. As you know, I speak out, correct, and out, and this is what we've seen. There is no difference between India and China, just covered under a different name, different process, and ordinary people have no access to take their knowledge to the top, as Those who do not sue them, lock them because they don't have access. Chinese government has to make a system, the structural representation has to make a system that the totality through a system can have access to everything. Keep your courses, but make it possible that people can see. And this is what we see now with this. And bigger problems in China will come the same way. The top will never get to know anything because there is no access in the hierarchy of the structure of the government of China. President Xi of China should have been explaining to his nation, there is a solution, we have it, we look at it, it's there and it's done, case is done. Instead, the whole nation, instead of celebrating the new year, lives in the fear of life. There is a problem in the administration of Chinese government, and it has to be sorted at the levels that the nation stays calm. As you understand, all the New Year's parties are cancelled. As you understand, there is no single masks to be sold anywhere in China. Everybody bought the mask, but it's the energy transfer, and the mask has not much use unless you can create the barrier through gases that you can absorb the energy. This is what needs to be done. I've been open in consulting the Chinese government, and this is one of the biggest problems we have. We see in China, I'm not the only one, but many people who live in China, work with China, see this structure of the level blockages as one of the main causes and problems in understanding other works and the ways. And it's piling up to the point that sooner or later it has to be addressed. But this disease is one of them. The administration of the government of China should be easy to avoid this and could understand the technology. The scientists sitting on the top of the structure of the Chinese organization with health, blocking everything because they are what they call a specialist, and they see themselves not finding the cure. I better do not put it out because it doesn't give me credibility. It's the responsibility, as we said, if you remember with the keys, we gave the USB stick to the government. They did nothing. We gave it to you, and we've seen in past years what you developed in different aspects. Now, it's your responsibility to do the same. Take the gases to the hospitals and the street and give it to the people. It'll become the responsibility of the Office of His Excellency President Xi to respond to your actions. Let the nation bring prosperity and peace and happiness in the new year. This is revolution in science, and we have to be able to deliver it. All the Chinese Keshe foundations in Beijing, in Guangzhou, in all parts of China, make as much cans as you can and freely distribute it across. Those of you who keep a stockpile has to become free to your nation. Keshe Foundation material are available to the nation. It's the responsibility of our teams to make sure we distribute as much as we can. Transportation cost of liquid, transportation method of liquid into affected area has been blocked, as I was told yesterday. Drive with cars, take it to and give it to. Next week after the new year, a large factory setup of the Keshe Foundation in China will open up and allow the Chinese government to have full access to this factory for all its production till they're happy the disease is over. Keshe Foundation will cover the cost. But what we need, you can use. Our team are already working on it, speeding it up. And in so many ways, if we can get to the fast production of the portable units in early months of February, we will place these systems across China. Keshe Foundation will cover the cost. That people can just take the waters and disinfect themselves. We can produce structures that create a multiple mixture of all the elements needed for this purpose. We have the knowledge, we have the technology, and we have the backing of the Keshe Foundation in China. Those of you who want to help, go directly and send the messages. If you need help, go directly and send messages to our common line that you all know and you have used. Keshe Plasma China at 163.com. Keshe Plasma China at 163.com. Internationally, if you need any help with this matter, as you understand, Keshe Foundation operation has always had a response and a response criteria that will allow you to contact us, will allow you to be able to send messages, and we try to help you through the what we call our common line, info@keshefoundation.org. If you're in Brazil or other countries, you're traveling to China, you need help, or you have the materials you want to spread to help the others, the two channels of communications for Keshe Foundation inside and outside China, info@keshefoundation.org, or the Keshe Foundation common line within the China. You have material you want to send, we'll find drivers to take it. You have materials you want to spread or you want to know, just get in touch with the appropriate link in Chinese Keshe Foundation, which you all know we have used it, Keshe Plasma China at 163.com. We can bring this together, and I'm sure the Keshe Foundation in China will respond to the best of their ability to support. We have materials in different locations, some in different places, between different Keshe knowledge seekers, which even if it means we have to buy from them to give it freely to the nation, Keshe Foundation will take other steps. The application of the plasma technology is the only solution to the viruses. Mankind has never had any solution. We have shown and we have delivered, and we've shown it with Ebola, we have shown it with African pig flu, we have shown it in other cases. Now there is the suffering of a nation. And as one nation, Chinese nation is part of us. In so many ways, we have to respond to call of a nation, a call of human race, which sees itself in danger. You do not understand what pressure Chinese community and government and countries under today, on the eve of the new year. We love Chinese, we live amongst them, and we feel the pressure. As I wrote this morning to one of the leading people in Chinese structure, very simple. This is a message from the Keshe Foundation to Chinese officials. We stand solid as friends with your nation and all Chinese government in these times of trouble. Deliver
Mamy koniec tego fragmentu na dzisiaj. Ostatni fragment obejrzymy sobie za tydzień. Tak więc jak są jakieś pytania lub ktoś chciałby zabrać głos, to zapraszam.
Dzięki, Jarku. Skoro nie ma pytań, nikt nie chce podzielić się swoimi spostrzeżeniami ani swoją wiedzą, to tradycyjnie postaram się tutaj streścić ten warsztat, który dzisiaj oglądaliśmy, warsztat sprzed tygodnia 312, który pojawił się dosłownie parę dni, czy dzień, dwa po tym, jak świat obiegła wiadomość właśnie o tym koronawirusie. Przepraszam. I tutaj ten wątek w zasadzie, cały warsztat nazywał się właśnie blueprintem tego, przy czym dr Keshe pierwszą godzinę poświęcił na inne sprawy, a później, jak już cała społeczność chińska łącznie z tłumaczem byli gotowi, wtedy przenieśli się, temat w zasadzie był kontynuowany tego koronawirusa. Na początku mieliśmy, myślę, ciekawą pigułkę wiedzy, gdzie dr Keshe tłumaczył właśnie różnicę między inercją w połączeniu z grawitacją i magnetyzmem, a także same systemy bazujące właśnie na magrawie, czyli na polach magnetycznych i grawitacyjnych. I tutaj w wielkim skrócie ja polecam oczywiście obejrzenie tego po raz kolejny. Postaramy się ten fragment też wyciąć i wrzucić na naszą playlistę właśnie takich małych pigułek wiedzy, małych filmików, krótkich filmików, w których bardzo prosto jest ta wiedza wyjaśniana. I tu idąc po kolei, o inercji dr Keshe mówił właśnie o stanie lotu czy lewitacji przy użyciu stanu materii. Na przykład dawał jako przykład to, co naukowcy skonstruowali, czyli właśnie poprzez oddziaływanie magnesów, unoszenie się jakichś pojazdów. Wiemy też, że to ma zastosowanie gdzieś w kolei, gdzie tam też wykorzystywane jest to oddziaływanie magnetyczne. I tak jak tutaj dr Keshe mówił, jest to bardzo trudne, mało która rasa potrafi. W zasadzie tutaj ograniczamy się, bazując na inercji, ograniczamy się właśnie do skorupy tutaj Ziemi, do powierzchni Ziemi, jeśli chodzi o podróż, lewitację i tak dalej. Później mieliśmy omówienie inercji plus właśnie magraw, czyli plus grawitacja i magnetyzm. I tutaj dr Keshe wskazywał właśnie w kierunku gansu, czyli gazie w stanie nano. I w zasadzie tutaj przy użyciu gansu mówimy właśnie o wyłapaniu tych pól magnetyczno-grawitacyjnych danej substancji właśnie w warunkach inercji, czyli tej bezwładności naszej planety. I tutaj dr Keshe mówił o podróży o Ziemi, nawet też po Ziemi i dalej. Mówił też o tym, że właśnie w tych warunkach inercji mamy manifestację tego gansu, to co przed chwilą wspomniałem. Wskazał też, że ciało człowieka właśnie tak samo działa na tej samej bazie, czyli składa się z gansów. Mamy ten warunek właśnie, gdzie żyjemy przecież na powierzchni tej planety, czyli doświadczamy tego stanu inercji, bezwładności i właśnie oddziaływania grawitacyjno-magnetycznego. I widzieliśmy aplikację gansu, używanie właśnie tego stanu, który określamy gansem właśnie w rolnictwie, w zdrowiu. Zresztą cały ten blueprint był właśnie podaniem recepty na to, jak sobie poradzić. Tutaj dr Keshe zaznaczył też, że to nie jest lekarstwo, tylko to jest warunkowanie środowiska po to, żeby tego wirusa właśnie wyciągnąć, żeby spowodować, żeby ten pakiet energetyczny, którym jest, żeby osłabł w sile i już nie mógł żerować jak pasożyt na innych komórkach, które bazują właśnie na aminokwasie. I ostatnie systemy, jakie dr Keshe omawiał, to są same właśnie grawitacyjno-magnetyczne. Tutaj porównywał to do irańskiego systemu lotu. Powiedział też, że w ten sposób właśnie działają całe systemy planetarne, czyli tak jak mikro, tak makro patrzymy i to jak widzimy, jak kształtują się układy słoneczne, galaktyki, wszystko w kosmosie można powiedzieć, to wszystko działa właśnie na zasadzie pozycjonowania się, oddziaływania pól grawitacyjno-magnetycznych. Zresztą nawet jak wrócimy do warsztatów, jak tworzy się aminokwas Ziemi, że to jest interakcja właśnie plazmy Słońca i Ziemi, czyli pól magnetyczno-grawitacyjnych jednego i drugiego, to widzimy właśnie prosty przykład, że w tym przypadku mówimy właśnie o tej skali przede wszystkim tej, która nie podlega temu stanowi inercji, tylko mówimy właśnie o tej skali bardziej makro. Później mieliśmy po raz kolejny, to już chyba trzeci raz ten wątek się pojawia i za każdym razem dr Keshe odsłania tutaj coraz więcej tego rąbka tajemnicy odnośnie tego, jak wyglądał ten odwet Iranu na bazy amerykańskie i sojusznicze w Iraku w odpowiedzi za morderstwo, za zabicie generała irańskiego. I tutaj była mowa właśnie o 10-minutowym blackoutie, czyli takim wizualnym też, gdzie było oślepiające właśnie światło wytworzone przez tą kopułę, którą stworzyły systemy umieszczone właśnie w pobliżu tych baz amerykańskich. I oprócz odcięcia komunikacji, to był jeden z aspektów, który na pewno przestraszył i spowodował duży respekt Stanów Zjednoczonych do Iranu, jeśli chodzi o właśnie o zablokowanie całej komunikacji. Zresztą tutaj dr Keshe wskazywał na to, że tak samo było w przypadku drona, więc mieliśmy tą demonstrację technologii w powietrzu, kiedy wiadomo, drony bazują, to są urządzenia, które nie posiadają pilota, więc bazują, całe sterowanie, wszystko odbywa się na zasadzie właśnie komunikacji radiowej z tym, kto tym dronem steruje i wydaje mu polecenia, więc w przypadku odcięcia komunikacji ten dron staje się bezużyteczny, więc to był przykład zastosowania tej technologii w powietrzu. Mieliśmy zastosowanie jej w wodzie, czyli ten przykład niszczyciela USS Donald Cook, co zrobili Rosjanie z kolei, gdzie przepłynęli łodzią podwodną właśnie z takimi systemami magnetyczno-grawitacyjnymi bazującymi na tej technologii i w tym procesie silniejszy karmi słabszego. Jedna łódź podwodna miała jedną część systemu, czy jeden system można powiedzieć, a samolot, który przeleciał nad tym statkiem, miał drugi i poprzez właśnie tą naszą podstawową zasadę w plazmie jednego, gdzie silniejszy karmi słabszego i stworzenia tego warunku można też tam w tym przypadku, to kiedyś dr Keshe bardzo omawiał dość obszernie, że tam chodziło przede wszystkim o wpłynięcie na ten element węgla, który jest nieodzownym elementem wszystkich tranzystorów, tego co całej elektroniki, więc wpada cała elektronika, cała komunikacja, wszystko w tym momencie i to była demonstracja, dzięki Jarku za ten obrazek, tam była właśnie ta kopuła fajnie narysowana. I mówiliśmy o dronie w powietrzu, o tym statku na wodzie, a tutaj była demonstracja tego, można powiedzieć, na powierzchni Ziemi, czyli Podobnie w zasadzie to samo to działo się, myślę, że wielu z nas pamięta wideo Thomasa Lassa z Dominikanny, gdzie cała wyspa została przez huragan zrównana z ziemią. Wiatry, nie chcę się pomylić, ale myślę, że gdzieś tam po 150-200 km na godzinę wszystko łamały, wszystko zrównały z ziemią, a jednak ten ogródek i cała posiadłość, gdzie mieszka mama Thomasa Lassa, to wszystko się ostało. I co więcej, nawet nie było tam żadnych odłamków gałęzi, które były łamane poza tą kopułą ochronną, można powiedzieć. Więc widać, że ta ochrona była nie tylko na poziomie właśnie energii czy przekazu komunikacji, na przykład komunikacji radiowej, jak w przypadku tych aplikacji wojskowych, tylko też sama fizyczność, można powiedzieć, nie miała wstępu do tej kopuły, odbijała się od niej, spływała pod niej, czy jakkolwiek w każdym razie nie były w stanie żadne te gałęzie, liście, czy cokolwiek zostało urwane w innych częściach wyspy, nie było w stanie spenetrować tej kopuły. I ten warunek, właśnie ta demonstracja, można powiedzieć, technologii, siły i też odpowiedź za to, co zrobiły Stany, zapewne doprowadziły, zresztą tutaj to doktor Keshe tłumaczył, zaprowadziły do tej sytuacji, którą mamy teraz, czyli Stany prowokujące tą wojnę, które zabiły właśnie generała bez żadnego powodu, po prostu za pstryknięciem palców dokonał się samoosąd. Tu nie było żadnego sądu, który by skazał, gdzie dał wyrok, tylko to był osąd jednego człowieka, którym jest właśnie prezydent Stanów Zjednoczonych, i za pstryknięciem palców pozbył się życia, wydał wyrok śmierci, można powiedzieć, na inne życie, czyli generalnie myślę, że gdyby to dotyczyło kogokolwiek innego, czy innych urzędników, czy chociażby zwykłych ludzi, takich jak my, no to za takie coś idzie się do więzienia, za takie coś można spędzić całe swoje życie w więzieniu w momencie, gdy zlecamy morderstwo drugiej osoby, a to widzimy, jak te wszystkie rzeczy w zasadzie uchodzą płazem, ale w tym całym procesie Stany zamiast dążyć do tej wojny, musiały się z niej wycofać, nie mając w zasadzie argumentów, jeśli chodzi o technologię. I tutaj doktor też od razu właśnie zszedł w kierunku tego tematu Iranu jako strażnika pokoju, jako kraju, na który były nakładane właśnie sankcje technologiczne, sankcje gospodarcze i tak dalej, żeby tej broni nie rozwijał. Takie były oskarżenia i takie były też umowy, które parę lat temu zostały zawarte. A tutaj z kolei doktor Keshe mówi, no to teraz musi być ban, musi być zakaz na cały świat, żeby nikt nie sprzedawał broni, żeby ta broń nigdzie nie była przenoszona, przewożona w żadnym zakątku tego świata. No i ten wątek tam oczywiście był dość szeroki, ja go tak naprawdę po łebkach skracam po to, żeby dojść tutaj do kwintesencji tego warsztatu, gdzie właśnie przeszliśmy w część tego blueprintu, jak sobie radzić z koronawirusem. Tutaj dr Keshe mówił, może zacznę od końca, od samej tej recepty, jaką dał, czyli najpierw troszkę gansu CUO, miedź, budulec fizyczności, mięśnie, czyli ten można powiedzieć, ten wspólny mianownik. Później mamy ZNO, czyli gans cynku, i tutaj dr Keshe dość obszernie wyjaśniał podłoże emocjonalne, skąd się ten wirus bierze u zwierząt, czemu ludzie go też łapią, i zaraz do tego też przejdziemy. I gansu CO2 jako właśnie tego neuroprzekaźnika, łącznika, komunikatora, tak często mówimy sobie w kontekście węgla. Poza tym nasza fizyczność jest głównie z tego wydychana, a jeśli jeszcze zagłębimy się w ten aspekt płuc, które odpowiadają za emocje, za ten aspekt emocjonalny, i też płucami wdychamy powietrze, zarażamy się, można powiedzieć, tym wirusem, dlatego właśnie chociażby noszenie masek i pryskanie ich tą kombinacją gansów, to ten dwutlenek węgla jest czymś, co wydychamy poprzez nasze płuca, więc widzimy tutaj też kolejny aspekt tego, gdzie ten element jest przydatny. I do tego mamy jeszcze aminokwas, w związku z tym, że wirus przyczepia się do komórek, bazuje na życiu, które powstaje właśnie na bazie aminokwasu, no to dzięki Jarku tutaj mamy właśnie to fajnie narysowane, mamy na samym środku w zasadzie zakreślone amino plus GANS i tak właśnie działa wirus jako taki pasożyt żerujący na czymś, co ma podstawę aminokwasu, więc teraz w tym przepisie CuO, ZNO, CO2 i amino mamy wszystkie elementy, które są potrzebne, pełne zrozumienie tego procesu. Aminokwas jako właśnie ten wspólny mianownik z tym, do czego ten wirus się przyłącza. CO2 już sobie omówiliśmy, ZNO tak samo, podłoże emocjonalne, czyli przyczyna, to skąd bierze się ten wirus, i CuO jako właśnie ten budulec całej fizyczności, na której przecież ten wirus żeruje. I zaczęliśmy od końca, to teraz może od początku. Wirus, wracamy do podstawowej definicji, że jest to właśnie pakiet energetyczny, który się przyłącza do tego aminokwasu, jest tworzony przez emocje zwierząt, czy chociażby zwierząt, czy ludzi, i właśnie transfer tego wirusa, zakażenie dzieje się poprzez płuca, które są odpowiedzialne za emocje. Często przecież zarażamy się właśnie drogą kropelkową, czyli usta, nos, drogi oddechowe to są wrota, przez które ten wirus dostaje się, dlatego właśnie noszenie masek jest jednym ze sposobów zablokowania tego, przede wszystkim zablokowania tego transferu, ale też z drugiej strony taka maska na ustach, skoro to jest droga, którą ten wirus wszedł, tak samo jest to droga, którą właśnie poprzez tworzenie warunku słabszego możemy tego silnego wirusa ściągać z niego tą energię, powodować, że będzie on słaby. I to właśnie silna emocja wirusa, gdy siła czy emocja właśnie wirusa zwierzęcia pasuje do naszej siły emocji, to wtedy zarażamy się tym wirusem. Zresztą tutaj dr Keshe wskazywał na to, że właśnie powstanie tego wirusa u zwierząt ma podłoże emocjonalne, że kiedy te zwierzęta cierpią, czy są trzymane w niewoli w strasznych warunkach, gdzie jest za dużo tych zwierząt na przykład metr kwadratowy czy metr sześcienny wody, to wtedy te zwierzęta są tak samo nieszczęśliwe i niezadowolone, jak my byśmy byli trzymani w takich warunkach. Zresztą ludzkość już sobie to fundowała niejednokrotnie, czy to jeśli spojrzymy na więzienia, czy na obozy koncentracyjne, czy jakieś inne miejsca, to mówimy o replikacji, o podobnych warunkach, które my z kolei tworzymy dla zwierząt. I teraz te zwierzęta czujące, komunikujące się, żyjące tak samo jak my, cierpią tak samo jak my, posiadają te emocje i właśnie ta emocja powoduje obecność danej siły pól, która w pewien sposób tworzy warunek właśnie do rozwijania się tego wirusa. Zresztą jeśli zwierzę na przykład jest w niewoli i przechodzi te katusze, to jaka tam może się pojawiać emocja pod tytułem jest mi źle, jest mi niedobrze, nie chcę żyć w takich warunkach, więc co jest ratunkiem dla takiego osobnika? Ratunkiem jest właśnie choroba, warunek, który wytwarza ten organizm właśnie poprzez emocje po to, żeby właśnie zakończyć żywot, zakończyć go poprzez na przykład wytworzenie czegoś, co nazywamy wirusem. Myślę, że zresztą w tym kontekście, jeśli chodzi o zrozumienie tych wirusów, to jeszcze ta książka z jego definicją i pełnym zrozumieniem będzie się otwierać coraz bardziej, bo też dr Keshe zwraca tutaj uwagę, żebyśmy spojrzeli, po co jest ten wirus. To jest jeden z tych aspektów, przed chwilą sobie omówiliśmy, po co on jest, żeby wyrwać na przykład to zwierzę z niewoli, ale z drugiej strony, czemu my ludzie go łapiemy? No, ten proces sobie już wyjaśniliśmy, że musimy mieć też ten wspólny mianownik, tą wspólną emocję i teraz spójrzmy na środowisko, jakie sobie stworzyliśmy w różnych społeczeństwach, tego poczucia być może zniewolenia systemem, w którym żyjemy, pracą, do której cały czas chodzimy, domem, czy różnymi innymi aspektami. Myślę, że każdy ma jakieś swoje własne odczucia, emocje i problemy, z którymi się zmaga. Jedni czują się bardziej komfortowo w domu, inni w pracy, jeszcze inni gdzie indziej, totalnie na wycieczce, na wakacjach, więc myślę, że tutaj należałoby się zagłębić jeszcze troszkę głębiej i pomyśleć sobie, co ten wirus też obnaża, co on nam pokazuje i czemu właśnie takie wirusy nie tylko się tworzą, ale też później czemu są roznoszone. I właśnie psikanie tych masek, i tutaj dr Keshe zwraca uwagę, żeby tworzyć warunek słabszego, a nie silniejszego, żebyśmy nie karmili tego wirusa, tylko żebyśmy ściągali z niego właśnie, z tego pakietu energetycznego, ściągali tą energię. I dlatego tutaj zalecane jest używanie ciekłej plazmy w małych ilościach. Była mowa o paru kropelkach, parę kropelek tej mieszanki na maskę, żeby zablokować właśnie drogę do płuc temu wirusowi, ale też z drugiej strony po to, żeby w ten sposób można było ściągać tą energię z tego wirusa, wyciągać ją. Jako wytłumaczenie całego procesu i też wagi tego, czemu potrzebny jest ten aminokwas, dr Keshe cofnął się do tej jednostki replikującej, pamiętam jak to się jeszcze nazywało, coś z pomarańczą. W każdym bądź razie było to pojemnik, do którego laliśmy wodę. Na zewnątrz były rozstawione wszystkie gansy i wszystkie aminokwasy i później na tym pojemniku kładliśmy sobie na przykład pomarańcze i eksperyment polegał na tym, że ta woda przyjmowała właściwości tej pomarańczy nawet do tego stopnia, że można było wyczuć pewną nutkę smaku w tej wodzie. I tutaj dr Keshe mówił też o tym, że niektórym osobom nie wychodziło, gdzieś tam zgłaszali swoje zastrzeżenia w stosunku do tego, jako przyczynę, dlaczego to urządzenie, można powiedzieć, nie funkcjonowało poprawnie, było to, że w samym tym pojemniku w środku mogło nie być u niektórych osób ani odrobiny aminokwasu. Po prostu te naczynia były zbyt czyste, zbyt sterylne po to, żeby zachodził ten transfer energii właśnie z pomarańczy, z aminokwasu pomarańczy do aminokwasu wody, w której to chcemy zreplikować tą pomarańczę. No, czysta woda nie będzie posiadała tego aminokwasu, więc jakieś delikatne zabrudzenia organiczne bazujące na aminokwasie w tym procesie mogą pomagać. I tak samo właśnie działamy z wirusem, jeśli chodzi o ten transfer energii od silniejszego do słabszego. Po czym dr Keshe mówił też o tym, że antybiotyki nie działają na wirusy. No, to jest rzecz wiadoma, że obecna medycyna niespecjalnie ma odpowiedź na to zagadnienie, dlatego że tutaj było też jeszcze głębsze wyjaśnienie tych dwunitkowych wirusów, jednonitkowych. Nie wiem, czy to tak dokładnie się tłumaczy, bo być może w polskim języku to ma jakieś inne nazewnictwo. W każdym bądź razie tutaj też było wskazanie na to, że te antybiotyki, te leki, cokolwiek używamy, nie ma w zasadzie prawa działać, bo pokrywa tylko i wyłącznie ten aspekt fizyczny, gdzie widzimy, że sam wirus jest pakietem energii, energia. No, nawet jeśli spojrzymy na takich jajogłowych jak Einstein z równaniem E równa się mc kwadrat, jak to doktor ich nazywa, tych bookkeeperów, czyli tych, którzy trzymają księgi po to, żeby ich wiedza była zawsze na wierzchu najważniejsza i w ten sposób ograniczają też zrozumienie innych osób, to nawet patrząc na to równanie E równa się mc kwadrat, kiedy mówimy o energii, nie mamy w zasadzie masy, więc jeśli chcemy oddziaływać na aspekt fizyczny, no to ten aspekt fizyczny jest czymś, co ma masę, a mówimy o pakietach energetycznych, o energii, która nie ma masy, no to masę, można powiedzieć, zdobywa przyłączając się do aminokwasu, do komórek. Wtedy to się pojawia, ale przyczyną czy kwintesencją, skąd wywodzi się ten wirus, to są właśnie te pakiety. Wirus jest tym pakietem energetycznym, więc musimy działać właśnie na poziomie tym energetycznym, na poziomie też emocji. Emocja też jest formą energii, która później znajduje swoją manifestację w fizyczności, tak jak omawialiśmy to sobie w przypadku tych zniewolonych zwierząt na przykład. Więc działanie to po raz kolejny jeszcze głębiej tłumaczy, dlaczego te elementy akurat, na przykład cynku, pojawiają się w tej mieszance jako rozwiązanie na ten wirus korona. Upewnienie się, że działamy w warunku słabszego, o tym już sobie mówiliśmy, w zasadzie tutaj już była końcówka tego fragmentu warsztatu. Myślę, że puścimy go sobie w niedzielę, dooglądamy te ostatnie 20 minut, które były na koniec. Zamkniemy ten warsztat i wtedy będziemy mogli przejść do oglądania kolejnego fragmentu blueprintu Magrawa, więc to mógłby być plan na niedzielę. Jeśli chodzi o streszczenie tego fragmentu, to wszystko z mojej strony. Jak ktoś ma ochotę coś dorzucić ze swojej wiedzy, ze swojego zrozumienia, to zapraszam, a na koniec Jarek tutaj przygotował jeszcze to wideo, którym zakończymy dzisiejszą sesję. Zamiast tego wideo o Radzie Uniwersalnej będziemy sobie oglądać właśnie to, co fundacja wypuściła parę dni w weekend po tym warsztacie, po 312, czyli w zeszły weekend, w sobotę, w niedzielę wyszło właśnie to wideo, pewnie też nie bez powodu, nie bez przyczyny, bo dr Keshe wskazywał na to, że transport płynów jest zablokowany. Jak widzieliśmy też na zdjęciach w telewizji czy jakichś raportach z tego miejsca, tam są stawiane barykady, ludzie nie mogą wjeżdżać ani wyjeżdżać, więc w zasadzie potrzebny jest prosty sposób zrobienia sobie samemu tej mieszanki gansów, tego przepisu, co tutaj dr Keshe podawał, i zamiast robić pojedynczo te wszystkie gansy miedzi, cynku, CO2 i jeszcze gdzieś tam zbierać aminokwasy, dr Keshe uprościł to w takie jedno krótkie wideo 19-minutowe, gdzie pokazuje, jak zrobić właśnie taki kompozytowy gans, jak to wszystko zrobić bardzo szybko. W zasadzie on cały ten proces przygotowania tego wszystkiego omawia w tym wideo i jest to zabawa dosłownie na 15-20 minut, żeby sobie taki kubek przygotować. Zresztą to nie jest rozwiązanie tylko i wyłącznie na tego wirusa, to jest podana recepta na radzenie sobie z każdym innym wirusem, bo przecież zasada, dr Keshe też o tym mówi, trzeba zrozumieć zasadę i wtedy rozumiemy, jakimi elementami musimy się posługiwać, żeby w danej sytuacji sobie poradzić, zaradzić na to właśnie poprzez tworzenie warunków w środowisku, odpowiedniego warunku słabszego, gdzie jesteśmy w stanie zdrenować, wyciągnąć energię z tego wirusa. No i to wszystko z mojej strony. Dzięki wszystkim za uwagę i za uczestniczenie w tym warsztacie i zapraszam do pogadania się, jeśli ktoś ma ochotę.
Dziękuję Ci, Przemku, za treściwą wypowiedź. Nawet nie wiedziałem, kiedy oddech bierzesz. Tak to wspaniale zabrzmiało. Ten skrót. Tak więc są pytania. Czy ktoś jeszcze chce zabrać głos? Jeśli nie ma, to zakończymy tym filmem, co Przemek powiedział, czyli jeden kubek, jedno życie. To były 332 warsztaty poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim z czwartku 30 stycznia 2020 roku. Tak więc zapraszam jeszcze do obejrzenia i polecam sobie zrobić taki kubek życia, chociażby dla samej satysfakcji i pomocy innym. Tak więc do usłyszenia i zapraszam do obejrzenia.
Good morning, good afternoon to you, whenever and wherever you listen to this recording. My name is Mehran Keshe, the head of Keshe Foundation, and as a Iranian nuclear physicist, we have developed technologies for a space which can be applied and has been applied in China in past few years to see how we can improve the life of people in China, be it in the agriculture, be it for health, be it for production of material. In the past 2 years, when I stayed in China, we tried to show that this new technology can help with viruses. As you know, the African pig swan flu has killed many, many pigs. In the trial, which we were asked to participate in, where 829 pigs were affected by the virus, tested and confirmed. When we entered the process to help, after 2 weeks, we saved 725 pigs carrying the virus. This is one of the most difficult viruses to handle. At the same time, we have participated in agricultural growth in Inner Mongolia and northern part of China, and we have increased the harvest drastically. We have now factories in China, and in that process, we are trying to change and help the Chinese nation and technology and the industry and farming. Today is the Chinese New Year, and we know that a new problem has started for China. The new flu has already claimed many lives. And we know the flu is a virus. Up to today, in the world of science, there has never been a solution for viruses because we never understood what the virus is. Now, with the new technology, we understand what the virus is. And as the new technology depends on plasma technology, we can reduce the effect of the virus energy. What virus does that we understand now is an energy pack which itself attaches to a cell, and it takes the energy from the cell and in that case creates death of the cell and the death of the animal or a human being. With this new technology, what we do, we bring the plasma, which is more or less in this shape you see at the bottom of the cup, near to the cell. And then the virus gives its energy to this material and lets the cell go. And then we see eradication of it. We developed this technology because we are a space program. And in a space, we don't have microbes and bacteria. We have viruses, energy packs, which attach ourselves to themselves. And then it creates a huge problem. And it can cause a lot of death in the space. So we had to develop a technology for viruses. And now, in this time, when China is in trouble with this new virus where humans and many have died, we introduced this not only to help you, but to help the nation, and in a way to change the course. What I'm going to show you is going to cost you 1 RMB to save your life. We call this the cup of life. 1 cup, 1 life. You can make it at home. Drink only the water, the clear water. Never drink the material. Wash your face with it, wear the mask with it, and then you will see, even if you have a fever, the fever comes down, and then you see the other effects. Then, if we can eradicate all the problem, at least the doctors can help you with the rest of it. This water has been certified, just passed the test that is not poisoning, and is already used in a hospital in Guangzhou for another application by a pharmaceutical company. Belongs to the Keshe Foundation. This is the newest space technology. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to make 1 cup, 1 life. It's very simple. Look around your house. See what materials you have in the house. Something you don't need anymore. Take the wire. Cut the wire off and take the middle wires out. Usually you have 3 wires in China. Take these out and then strip the plastic and cut it about 30 centimeters. You can cut as many as these you like. What you do, you take the copper, take a pencil and just simply twist. Twist the copper around the pen, that you get a spine. Very simple. Now you have a very small piece. You can make as many of these and put them together or connect them together. This is the first part. The second part of this is you take another one of these wires and you twist it very tight, very, very tight. And then this is the trick of the game. This is where you become more advanced than the scientists in Beijing universities and most of the universities around the world. We call it the nanotechnology. I'll show you how to make a very fast nanomaterial. This is a key to your life. This is what saves lives. This is what changes life. In the house, you usually have the Chinese pans. You create fire to cook. Here, I have a torch. The system, very simple. I need this. What I do, I reduce it. We need a high temperature. The copper has to go red. If it doesn't go red, it doesn't work. You put the copper on the fire and you wait for it to go red. As it goes red, you start moving. You start moving very, very slowly till you see it going red, and then you start moving. You see it? If you look, the copper stays continuously red, and then you carry on very, very slowly, very, very slow. You keep the copper in the red color. It has to stay red, and then you see it. You come all the way, very slowly, very, very slow. You come to the end of it. Some of the wire might bend, it doesn't matter. But you go to the end. Make sure everything has to be black. You can't have any metal. Just watch. You see it? It goes red. The other part is a little bit left. You go red. Let it cool for a few seconds. And then, when it cools down, you do exactly as what you did before. You take it, still hot, and what you do, you place it back again, the same as on the pen, and you twist it around the pen. You'll find out you find some pieces already opened up. It doesn't matter. This is good. And then you follow it till it's totally finished. And then you push it back and bring all the wires together that they stick. There is nothing staying out. Now you have another spring. Look. Okay. Now you have one which is natural, one which is nano-coated. This is the edge of technology. Now you need something else. In all the homes we find batteries. The batteries which they carry zinc or zinc material. If it's a metal one, is no good. You can put a magnet on it and it sticks. You need a piece of zinc, or you can find a piece of zinc from the roof or from anywhere if you cannot find a battery, but it's usually in the batteries. You get it and you just fold it. Now what we do, we get a cup. That's why we call it one cup, one life. You hang this one on one side. You hang the other one on the other side. And then I recommend you to get a hard piece of wire and turn it to this shape and hold it, put it on the top. Now you have made yourself a very simple system. You need to hang this on the middle. There we are. When you hang it like this, now you place it in the middle. As simple as that. Now we move to the final stage. As you know, we need to connect the three pieces together. You need to connect the plate to itself. This is from your battery, or you have it a zinc from somewhere. Then you connect the middle part again on the leg, very simply, to another piece. Then what you need to do, just make sure it's tight, very tight, and then you place it back in the cup. Then the third wire. What you do with the third wire is very simple. You connect it again to the bottom, to the end of this wire. Then just twist it, that it stays tight, bring it back and hang it inside. Very simple. Now you have, I show you, 3 wires and 3 pieces. What you need to do is very simple. You can do one thing. You can, to speed up, to make the material very fast, take an old battery, very old battery, not much power in it, and connect the 2 outside together, and get a tape, a simple tape, and connect this to the top of the battery. That's all you need to do. Just make sure you have the tape and you have this, and you connect it directly to the top. Make sure it's tight. You get another piece of tape and you connect the bottom to the center. Of the battery. So now we have a system. You have the 2 wires. You have to make sure none of these touches. But this process, a cup of life of man, 1 cup, 1 knife, needs water. This water, you take a tap water and you add salt to it, cooking salt. You add about 15% for 1 liter, 150 grams is good, and you stir it till it's fully done. Then, now you start saving your life. Just fill it up. You don't need to do anything else. Just fill it up to the top. Leave it. You start seeing bubbles. Make sure everything is inside, and if you look, already bubbles start coming up. What are you going to get? A water like this. You see whitish greenish material goes to the bottom and you get a very clear water. You never drink or touch the green part. You just let everything to settle. When it's clean and clear, you drink about 100 ml, 200 milliliter of it. And then you wash your face and you wash your hands with it. And then most of you at the moment, to the fear of what is going to happen, you are wearing these masks which you put in front of your face, or a tea towel or any towel or a piece of cloth, you wet it with the same water and you hold it and you put it in front of your mouth. You breathe as much as possible every day. You just wet the mask. And then you have to make sure that when you make the fresh water will be salty. Try to wash the salt off. You wash it, you let it settle, you put more water in it, you let it settle, and in that process, you go as much as you like. When you emptied, when you took this material out of the bottom, you can put more salt water and keep it going. It keeps on producing. You can give another cup to another friend. You can save another life to your neighbors. And keep on producing and teach them what to do. And then what you do, you keep on filling it up. You drink from it, you let it settle. You keep on drinking, washing your cloth, washing your nose, washing your face, your head, and keeping the mask continuously wet in front of your mouth. So what you can do on the other hand is, as you're walking around the town, just carry it, put the water in a spray, and just spray it on the cloth on your mask. That's all it does. You see anybody says, I have a temperature, give it to them. That's all it does. It takes save a life with just one spray. This is a space technology. It looks very simple because we made it simple. You've got to understand, this technology is very advanced on the other hand, where very soon you will see these machines where we'll do the same in more effective way, made in China, will be exported around the world. I brought this technology, one cup, one life, because every life has to be respected. And I love to be part of the Chinese community to see that the new year becomes a pleasurable year. This is my gift, the gift from Keshe Foundation to the Chinese nation. Use it, understand what you're doing, and give a cup to the man. Teach the man how to make it. Once you learn this one, if another 5 years, another 10 years, there is another virus, that's all you need to do. Just make a very simple system. One cup, one life, less than 1 RMB. It's worth testing. And then teach it freely. We have opened a website that in this program you see at the bottom. You have a problem, get in touch with Keshe Plasma China at 163.com. You can be helped there, and then we can teach you how to do it and teach the others. It doesn't take long. If you leave it for about half a day or so, you will start seeing the material appears, and that's all you need to do. Thank you very much. A Happy New Year. I hope you enjoyed the gift of life which I've given you as one cup, one life. Thank you.